Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we have another poll announcement video. I have 8 different animated TV shows in front of me ready for voting on, I guess. Ready to see what's gonna come through and win and be the next thing that I watch after Hibike Euphonium, which is on screen at the moment. This is also a public service announcement to watch the thing that's on screen right now. Watch Hibike Euphonium. Watch it from the start because the whole journey is most definitely worth it, especially after yesterday's recording session, episode 13 was very, very good. So yeah, check that out at your leisure. I would recommend it for basically everybody. But we're not here to talk about that one. We're sunsetting that one, and I guess I have a couple of things to say right off the bat before I start revealing the shows. One is the type of show that I have picked here today to be on this poll. I wouldn't say there's a theme, but there's a method to the madness, right? So let's peel back the curtain a little bit. This slot, this midweek slot, is my most busy by a country mile. It's the one that always seems to make shit break or delay me further into the week or any number of other things like that. So it takes place on a Wednesday and a Thursday is when I'll make the video. Both those days I do a 9-hour shift at my job. On top of that, the Thursday shift, which is the second one, likes to swap between mornings and evenings sometimes. So that always stuffs with my process and recording stuff and that kind of thing. Makes it very tough to do 2 episodes of a show that's really, really involved, and at a stretch, even sometimes 1 episode of a show that's really, really involved. So I've had a number of people ask me about Monogatari. Monogatari is returning very soon to be aired on television again, which is very cool. I'm leaving Monogatari. I'm still deciding whether we will vote on it or not to just go back on that Monday again, because I already know what's going on there. It's very, very involved as a show, so you'd need to take the time to analyze it and really think about it and look up different things and different esoteric references that they're doing and that kind of thing, right? If it is up to the standard of the old stuff, of course, which I can't see any reason why it wouldn't be. That's the same for a couple of other shows that I have as well that I've been thinking about putting on polls. That'd be stuff like Penguin Drum, Technolize, High Bunny Renmei, some Ghost in the Shell stuff, lots of other stuff, like trippy stuff, complicated stuff, that kind of thing. Stuff that I wouldn't be comfortable just kind of breezing past and not doing a good job on. Put it that way. So just know that those kind of shows are in the tuck. They're the kinds of things that I do want to watch on the channel, that I want to continue doing on the channel, but I want to give them the correct amount of time. So again, the weekend's still good for that. So when Dungeon Meshi ends, maybe we put one of those up there as well. We will see. But again, I wouldn't say that the shows I've chosen here today are low investment, but I think I could get through them at a quicker pace than the others. That may be foolish of me, but I have not seen them, so I do not know. Anyway, that's enough rambling and justifying and that kind of thing. Let's just jump into what's on the poll, shall we? Starting here, of course, with Fully Cooley. Hello, Fully Cooley. FLCL, again, everyone just says Fully Cooley. I'm at least aware enough of that. Now, I'd need somebody to go through this with me. I know people like fucking hate some parts of this, and there's a lot of parts of it, but maybe we just do this part, which seems to be pretty well regarded. I don't know. This is the original OVA by Gainax. I think when you go down to some of this stuff, people get really, really pissed off. So, like, it's either something I should check out because it's like, it'd be interesting to talk about, or maybe not. Again, it's dependent on if this wins the poll or not that we'll start to answer these questions, but this is the starting point. Pretty famous old show, and I don't really know much about it. So yeah, and it's a kind of 6 OVAs that are 25 minutes, so it's relatively short as well, depending again on if we do extra stuff. Again, don't know much about it. I think it's like a mecha thing, but like I'm unsure. So yeah, that's on the poll, everybody. Congratulations. Next up, we have an old favorite returning. It's Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, of course. G-Witch, if you're nasty. Hello, G-Witch. This one doesn't really need an introduction, I don't think. It's Gundam. There's going to be mechs and stuff, which is cool, and I think it's very on brand for me to pick the lesbian one. I think that's just kind of like, it's almost like my identity at the moment. which is kind of strange to say, but either way, I digress. I think it'd be a cool, fun show to watch, so I put it on the poll, and it got another recommendation on the Discord, which helps. I think all of these shows that I'm listing have at least one recent recommendation on the Discord, which is something I try to do as well. Moving swiftly onwards, we have Princess Tutu. I'm imagining this would be in the Utena vein of something that's a little bit more of a genre pick, a genre I'm not particularly familiar with that does some interesting things. I was also reading this here. Apparently, it's gets a little bit weird in the first and second part. Like there's 13 25-minute episodes and then 24 12-minute episodes, so it kind of equals out to about 25 episodes, but kind of not really. 26 episodes, I guess. But it says 38 down here. It's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, again, maybe in a similar vein for Utena. I've seen a lot of the Utena folks kind of writing for it a little bit. Next on the list, of course, we have Girls Band Cry, recently aired CG animated show about girls in a band, which I don't know if you've heard. That's something that I quite enjoy. K-On! Is the best anime of all time, and it isn't close, and Bocce the Rock's not that far behind it. So if it's any similar to any of those, oh, of course I should mention Mygo as well, which I thought was really good from last year. Another CG animated band show. If you're operating in any realm such as that, then this would be a favorite of mine to be selected, if I'm honest. And yeah, it was received quite well, which always helps, you know. I like when people like the things that I think I would like. Also, YouTube's been shoving it down my throat, and it's been very, very hard to avoid stuff. So, you know, they know what I like, I guess. Now, next is a recommendation I got from the YouTube comments, and I'd heard about it, but I wasn't sure if there was that kind of demand for it. Maybe we'll see. We'll just chuck it up on the poll and have a look. And I just kind of thought about it then. So if I said like 8 in the start of this video, it's actually 9 entries. I don't know. 9's a weird number, but let's go with it. It's Gankutsuo, or Count of Monte Cristo. I think that's what most people just call it. This thing's cool. Like, look at this poster. That's fucking mad. So again, I might be putting myself into a hole here because this may be the exact kind of thing that I didn't want to put on this slot, if that makes any sense, if this ends up winning. And maybe I may end up moving things around if it does end up winning and it's super complicated. But this looks fucking rad, so, like, why not? I don't even know what a gonzo is, but sure. I have no familiarity with the source material, of course, so I would need to be kind of well versed in that maybe as well. We'll see. The source material, of course, being the novel, the very famous novel. But either way, I digress. Moving on here, we have Kaiju number 8. Which is another recently airing thing, shonen. Yeah, shonen. That was relatively well received, production IG, so I know that the animation will be mint at least. I've watched the first episode and it seemed pretty good, so sure. If that's a problem that I've seen the first episode, then sorry. I didn't think it'd be something that would end up in a poll like this. But hey, it got a couple recommendations, so why not? Chuck it up here. Next up here we have, of course, the always returning Apothecary Diaries, because again, personally I want to see it, and it got a couple more recommendations in the channel, of course. No need for an introduction here. That's a ridiculously high score. People love it. It's quite popular. It was airing alongside Frieren, and people were like, well, I don't even know which one's better, and Frieren's like amazing, so seems really cool. Seems like it's up my alley as well. Seems like the art's really nice. Next on the list, of course, we have Mononoke, which I believe is another returning one, but got another couple of recommendations. I believe there's a movie upcoming as well for it. It's a horror thing. Seems like it has a really interesting art style as well. Couple of things from Toei this week as well on the poll. Anyway, I digress. Again, I want this to win. This would be cool. And yeah, rounding out here, of course, we have the Saga of Tanya the Evil, which is, I guess, in the grand tradition of bringing back the runner-up from the last poll. So this ran runner-up to Dungeon Meshi, so now it returns. That's basically how it works, I guess. Seems like there's a lot of demand for it. I'm personally unsure, but again, I haven't seen the show. It's built a lot on preconceived notions about what it may be, rather than what it may actually be. And yeah, it should be getting a season 2 soon as well, I believe. So lots of stuff to look forward to there. I believe there's a movie. Yeah, there's a movie. But yeah, it seems cool and very popular to boot, of course. I don't even know what a nut is either. Pause. Anyway, that's basically it. So I'll go back to my picture of Kumiko and Reina, of course. There it is. Hello, Kumiko and Reina. A couple of other extra things, of course. So, how do I vote on the poll? The poll link will be in the Discord. So you need to join the Discord and go to the polls section. There'll be the link there. You'll click on it. It'll be a Google form link, and then you'll vote through and answer each of the questions. You'll basically say, hey, I would really want to see the show. I kind of want to see the show. I don't want to see the show. I don't care. It's one of those four options. Each of those options corresponding will have a certain value ascribed to it, and that'll add up to a score. And whatever scores the highest, that'll be what I watch. That's basically how it's going to go. So yeah, there'll be a link in the description to the Discord, of course. The other thing, of course, would be the Patreon stuff. So the patrons will have a separate link on Patreon that they will use. They will go into the poll and they will vote using that one. I will then verify their Patreon username against their actual username and that kind of thing. And those votes will count for double, of course, up to certain tiers, I think. I think it's the $6 tier and above, if I had to guess. But again, I'll verify all that kind of stuff. And they'll get that link and they'll be able to vote and get double votes. So again, if you really, really want something to be shown here, you could subscribe to the Patreon and get double votes, of course. The last thing, I've been thinking about branching out a little bit, or at least maybe flirting with the idea of doing some Western stuff on the channel. So I'm going to have another link at the bottom of the form as well, not a link, a question that says, hey, would you like to see a Western show on the channel? I have a few things in mind. Arcane seems to be very highly requested, and I've always wanted to see, is it Over the Garden Wall? I think that one's quite good. Oh, I hear it's quite good, and I've always wanted to see it, so maybe. There's a chance in the future that there may be a Western thing on the channel. The only thing would be that copyright is a little bit more stringent with that kind of stuff, so it'll be a little bit tougher there, but again, I'm kind of rambling. So that'll be a question tagged on the end of the poll. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. Happy voting. Hope what you wants to win wins, if that made any sense. It didn't, but it's neither here nor there. And of course, I have my personal favorites, but I wouldn't mind seeing every single thing on the poll, which is half the battle, I guess. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what wins and catch you later. Bye bye.